So I believe we're live. Are we live? Is it that time already? Is that the time on Wednesday, the 11th of March? Welcome everybody to our weekly update. Oh, Steve, how you doing? Pauline, how you doing? You're obviously there. I'm going to get rid of this system. This is... Don't know if you heard that or not. Did you hear that, guys? I didn't hear it. Oh, I know I didn't hear it. Help if I plug the speakers in, wouldn't it? Right, and here we go. Let's start again, shall we? So, talk amongst yourselves. Hope you're all right. It's been one of those days again today. Nice, busy Visa World. A few ups and downs as you get on Visa World, but right, there we go. Microphone's in. I'm all set. Got a few people on the live chat. Hope you can all hear me. Let's go. Right, anyway, let's jump on the live chat first of all and see who's on. I think we're all set and ready to go. Hey, Trudy, how you doing? The mystery of the package, how's that going? How you doing, Alexander? Just had a chat there. Good to see you. Kev, nice to see you animated rather than paused. I don't know what I did. I don't know. The important thing, you think I'd get better at this after 109, wouldn't you? I did a whole video the other day with the camera, the what's it called, the Pocket 3. Somehow didn't turn it on. It was a good one as well. It was 10 minutes. I thought, oh, I'm going to do some more long videos because they're easier to edit. They're more informative, but you got to turn the camera on. SGT Candy, how you doing? Hi, Chris. Me and the wife doing our first discovery trip in June. Cool. Tell me more. Where are you discovering? Brilliant. Fantastic. Loving it. June's a good time to do a discovery trip just before the real heat hits. Yeah, they are. Gremlins at work today. Tony, how you doing? From the Cala Golf. I've got a picture of you over here. Here we go. Oh, dear me. Hola, Chris and todos. Tony. No, I've got Tony. I haven't got Tony from... do you know what? I'm getting all confused. I've got a picture of Paul and Sharon who are over there, and I've got Tony as well on. Sorry, Tony, I'm getting all confused. Linda, how you doing, Linda? Good to see you on. How's it going? Renewal TI done yesterday. All good. Waiting for the car collection at Figueroa. Thanks to Tom. Yeah, great. Tom was over there with you. That's brilliant news. I'm glad that went well. He's a good lad, is our Tom. And this is Paul from... I get confused, I do, with names. Sorry about that, Paul. Check this out here. So, hi, Chris. Thanks to the photo. Shoulder healing slowly. So, here's Paul and Sharon. Paul's arm is cream crackered. His shoulder's cream crackered, actually. Should have seen it. Black and blue he was. Blimey. We met the other day. Did the TIE card. And we even had time for a beer and a tapper. Well, I'm the one that had the tapper, to be fair. So starting off with Los Alcazars, at first we'll work our way towards Almeria over the next couple of years. That's great. That's good. That's a good, nice little trip up there. I've done that area now. I did that just a couple of weeks ago, actually, and over to La Manga. And then the bit that I'm missing is the coast between Murcia, and Almeria. I haven't done that yet. So, Stu John Waffles, all. How we doing? Right. Well, I've been waffling on now for 5 minutes, so I better carry on now with some good information. So, what we got there? Anyway, yeah, it was nice to meet you over there, Paul and Sharon in Malaga. Thanks for coming and having a drink with me as well. You met Tom as well. We were over there together because sometimes when they accumulate the appointments, we go out, the two of us. So, first of all, I want to say a big congratulations to Richard and Julie. Check this out. London to Almeria, a bit less than 3 weeks for their visas coming through. So that was fantastic. Well done, guys. London on the ball, absolutely flying. We did get one visa back from London today in 5 weeks as well, but it was last minute. Didn't manage to get it on the list. So they'll go on the list for next week. So well done, guys. And at the other end, up there in Edinburgh, Nicola and Robert, thanks for the photo, guys. Loving to see that. Big happy smiles with the Upsticks folder. They're just coming out there of Edinburgh BLS. Happy that they've handed over their documents. And our client John was there today as well. So maybe you saw him. Who knows? He might have been carrying one of our folders as well. So that's good. And then in terms of other things, I just wanted to show you this. I'm picking out questions that we get on the internet. So I had TIE card appointment booked. So that means that someone's got their TIE card appointment and we've booked it all for them and they're going to come. And I've got this message. I've just noticed that I seem to have lost my old residency card. I hope that's not a problem. Well, it is and it isn't. So if you have lost your residency card, you need to denounce the fact that it is lost. And how do you do that? Well, you go to the police station, denounce it's lost. They'll give you a piece of paper which substitutes the TIE card, and then you can use that at your appointment. In fact, some police stations, you can actually do it in the same police station where you're going to have your appointment. So we had the case the other day where our client in the National Police Station, it was in the morning though, okay, and it was an early appointment, got to the desk and went, no card, I've lost it. They went, right, get over to the police, denounce you've lost it, and just got in before 2 o'clock with that. And they gave her her new card because it was doing a pickup appointment at that time. But if you want to know more about that, you can go to this handy article on this really good website, which was written by this really cool dude. And on our website, how to make a denuncia to report and replace lost, stolen, illegible documents. I actually don't think I wrote that. I think Jane wrote that, to be honest. But yeah, the link is in the email below, and that explains exactly what to do if you lose your TIE card and other documents. And that's been published on our website for nearly 4 years. And no need to update it because it's as relevant as it was then as it is now. So there you go, guys. That's the first bit of useful information for you today. And we've also got here a couple of reviews coming in. This is from Jim. Cheers, Jim. I met Jim as well out there in Malaga. Well done. We used Upstick for our Spanish residency paperwork. The service they provide is excellent and the cost is very reasonable from the initial consultation to picking up our residency paperwork. The team have been fantastic and the process wouldn't have been so quick and stress-free without them. Cheers, Jim. Great to have you here legally in Spain now. EU family members residency. That was. I sometimes think I need to do this live in the morning because by the time I get to this time in the day, my brain's sort of half fried with doing visa stuff, and but then it wouldn't be as fun, would it? Let's be honest. What else do we have? Oh, here we go, another review. And we've got yesterday we collected our first year TIE cards. This would not have been possible without the help. This is from Roger, sorry. Help and support from Chris, support from Upsticks. Big thank you to Chris and Jane and the team. Past 12 months at times was very stressful, but Upsticks helps to take some stress away. They are always available to answer your questions and quickly, reassuringly, they tell you, in brackets, they tell you no question is a silly question. That is true. No question is a silly question. I would 100% recommend Upsticks to anybody looking to move. Looking back at my bit of advice would be trust Upsticks when they tell you to believe in the process. Once again, thank you for everyone at Upsticks. I'm sat on my balcony in Spain, looking at a lovely view, writing this review. Thank you, Roger and Nigel. Cheers, guys. Yeah, a lot of takeaways from that, because we believe in what we do, not only getting the approvals, but making dreams happen, people coming to Spain more and more now. We love it. And it is a long process, but what also we constantly try and remind ourselves is we're doing it all day. We're dealing with stresses all day. Like today, literally 2 minutes before I got on here, there was a problem with the BLS website. It's collapsing. But when it's the most important thing in your life you're doing, I've seen it collapse 15 times in the last 2 weeks, and it comes back on, you finally get your appointment. But if that's the one thing that's stopping you going to Spain, until you get that appointment, evidently it's going to be stressful. But yeah, so thank you for that. And Trudy says, now we've been on a bit now, just to give you context to this story. Trudy got one of our goodie bags. I think it was from SKATZ Show. They weren't from here. And today we have prizes. Look behind me. Prizes been donated by Lobster. Not received yet, but we know it where it was delivered, and they are saying not got it, but we'll look around garden once it stopped raining. So fingers crossed it will turn up. Oh dear, we had hailstones yesterday, believe it or not. Robo, buenas tardes. Robo in Spain. How you doing there? Robo, I've got some photos that you sent me the other day of the prices. And Como tu costas? Hola, Chris. 3 weeks till I move over. Chris and Linda. Hey, fantastic. Way. Nearly time. Nearly time. Okay, then. It'll be lovely weather by the time you get here. And this I thought was interesting for you guys as well. This is the... Oh, let me just move myself. Oh, no, don't like that one. This is the remote service from BLS. So if you want them to come to your house, this is for a single applicant who's living in the London district. Okay, this is what they charge to come to the house and actually pick up your documents, take your fingerprints at your house, and then process the visa. So logistics charge 202.86, and the BLS mandatory charge is 175. So close to 400 quid extra on top of the visa application fee. But if you live far away from London and you've got to get to London, you've got to book a hotel and get back, you might consider that, as did this client here. So there we go. And we've never had any problems with the visas coming through from people using that system. So where else have we got in the chat? So we've got 16 people on tonight. I forgot to download all of my videos from Murcia. You guys check out the road trip videos that I did from Murcia. I've got one more to publish, which I'll do next weekend because I forgot to do it and I haven't got time this week. But yeah, we had a bit of a road trip to Murcia. The family are on there as well because they like to get involved now with the videos. And yeah, check them out. They're good. Okay, so we're going to get on with our... What else did we have here for residency? Nothing. Wait a minute. Let's look at my paperwork. Oh, here's a question as well. So we had a client who came through. This is Upsticks Drive. So vehicle, picture the scene. Vehicle from Dubai comes in for change of residence. The first thing I'm going to tell you about a vehicle from Dubai, and the first confusion that people have, vehicle coming from outside the EU into Spain, which is the EU, is even if they have EU conformity, i.e. they're manufactured in the EU and they have a conformity manufacturer's plate, because it comes from outside the EU and the conformity is not on the documents or anything, it's not considered as having conformity. There's extra documentation you need to do. But if it's for change of residence, i.e. you're bringing it in as part of your personal artifacts, it doesn't matter anyway, because your personal vehicle can pass an ITV, and the fact that you're moving to Spain waives the need for the vehicle to have EU conformity. Okay, so change of residence, normal matriculations in Spain, when you're doing an ITV, the vehicle will have to have EU conformity and either a certificate of conformity or a ficha técnica reducida, which is the equivalent of this document only made in Spain by a Spanish technician. Okay, one of those two help you get through the technical inspection. If the vehicle's coming from a country from outside the EU, even if you've got a certificate conformity for it, it will not be considered as having conformity because it's from outside the EU. Okay, so it takes the status of the country it comes from. Not a problem. Change your residence with the right documentation. You don't need it. But where does that affect the taxes? Now, I'm going to tell you. When you come in, you bring that vehicle in, it should be brought in tax-free, VAT and duty, because it's coming from outside the EU into the EU. It would be liable for VAT and duty, but you can waive that because you're moving over. Okay. Then in the registration process, you have to pay various taxes. So you've got a road tax, the ITV, and there's this tax called a special registrations tax, okay, which is an emissions-based tax. All right. Most cars don't pay anyway nowadays because emissions are below the rate. I think they'll lower that soon so people start paying again. But this has to be presented within the first 60 days of you being here. Most of the time, if you're on a visa, you can't get the correct documentation in place, so you end up having to pay this tax. Normally, again, it isn't a problem because it's normally very low. But with vehicles, in the case of this vehicle that came from Dubai, which didn't have an EU conformity anyway, and there was no record of the emissions output on the actual documentation, and we had no technical documentation which we could prove what the emissions were, and because it hasn't got EU conformity, we can't go to the conformity statistics or specifications and find out what it was. It didn't go on the document from the ITV. They just put CO2 unknown. But what does that mean for the special registrations tax? That means you go into the highest brackets, albeit it's a small car, probably low emissions. Because it wasn't on the ITV document, it went straight to the highest bracket of the emissions tax, and you pay a lot more tax. So if you are bringing a vehicle from outside of the EU, a country which Dubai, for example, America, even the UK, if it hasn't got EU conformity and you can't find the emissions, you'll always go to the top of that tax bracket, believe it or not. Vehicles from the UK normally have EU conformity. They also have in the section B7 the CO2 amount, which then goes onto the documents, which means you can calculate the tax from there. So there you go. I hope you stayed with me with that one. Right then, let's go on to our next section. Here we go. Next section is, see if the graphics are working. Jane says, so Jane says, basically what we wanted to address in Jane says is the importance of attending your TIA card appointment and the pickup appointment as well. And the problem is especially lately, we've had a lot of people who are prioritizing certain things, which is a big priority in their life, over getting the TIE card, because the appointments, to be honest, are scarce and hard to book. All right. Sometimes we get limited to 5 a day and we might have 20 to book. So, you know, they are tough, but we do get them in the end. But you cannot, and this is what we need to highlight, is if that appointment doesn't suit you because your leg's been chopped off, and that's the only reason we'll accept for not attending. Only joking, not really, but it's a very important appointment. We cannot go online and say, oh, well, that one's available, because your appointment needs to be cancelled, okay, and then basically we can only book another appointment when that's cancelled. We have no guarantee of when that appointment's going to be. As we know, sometimes they'll open up, there'll be loads, and they'll close. This week in Málaga, boom, loads for this month. Last week they opened them for next month. So we've already booked some appointments in April, judging it, going, well, that person needs it then, yeah, that needs it then, yeah, brilliant. And then luckily, because we had one client who's had an emergency situation on Monday, they opened up in March. We were able to book them in for next week, and it was a morning appointment, brilliant. And then Tuesday, they'd all gone. And that's just Malaga, Murcia, Alicante. They're all different, and we can never guarantee what they're going to do with appointments, and even more so in this sort of uncertain time when we're probably approaching the time where people are going to be able to apply for the new regularization law. So your TIE card appointment, both applying for it and pickup, is very, very, very important. And that comes from Jane, because I know sometimes she gets frustrated at, well, I'm getting my hair cut today, so can I do it tomorrow? So no, it's not that easy to rebook. All right, that's the most important thing in your life right now. Once you get that card, you can do anything you like. So that's our Jane Says for today. We're going to move on now with the next thing, which is, oh no, they're all gone. I'm going to change this platform. It keeps failing on me. So guys, anyway, for YouTube, we're going to go straight to our YouTube channel. We had lots of lovely comments on our YouTube channel this week, and 13 people online, a few less than normal on. And let me check the comments on the YouTube channel. Here we go. So you'd have thought I'd have had this open, wouldn't you? Beautiful. What's the weather like where you are, guys? What's it like? So the community part of the channel, let's share the screen and answer your comments and questions. So I went to La Manga, did a video, and Neil said from Get Me to Spain, we were right there last year. The manga was not so windy way too windy to sit outside for coffee. It was like a ghost town in winter. Yet the manga is very quiet in winter, I have to say. Debbie Farnham, thank you very much for this lovely comment. I love this. This was on our Moving to Spain with a Parrot, George the African Grey. If you've got a parrot and you're coming to Spain, we actually did a podcast about that. She said, I love this. Thank you. I'm planning to move from the US this year with my 30-year-old African Grey, and it was quite a relief to think that I might be that easy. It might be that easy. Who knows? But at least you provide me with a document list, and Greybird loves to travel. So hoping my journey turns out as smoothly as Zoe's and George's did. I'm so pleased that someone picked up on that video and it's helped you. And Kez said, well done. This video has everything: atmospheric, stormy weather, slow motion, action footage, wild and windy, kite service, and afternoon sunshine on the sand. Yeah, cheers. I did a bit of slow-mo in a video. I've got to fess up here though, guys. I found it by accident on the camera and I was like, oh, I wonder what this does. And then I published it. Simon had to smile this video. Yeah, so Simon Hopkinson said, I had to smile this video as 2 weeks ago in Cartagena, we couldn't find the amphitheater entrance either. Well worth it when you get there. Yeah, when you go to Cartagena, the entrance just really isn't obvious. You have to go right down the bottom to the main square because you like walk around the circle in the amphitheater and you can't see it. And there's actually a small plaque on the wall which says, no, you've got to go down this road, and back round again. Patrick, good to see you. Interesting show, Chris. Some lovely cloud states and over the Mar Menor. The guest appearance was good too. Yeah. And Rob said he's not on today, I don't think. Chris Jimista El Canton has probably witnessed it. It's a neighborhood that requiring some renovation, but Cartagena is a special place, centuries of history. We love it there. Yeah, I'm glad I missed that. I only went there for you, Rob, to be honest with you. So I'm very disappointed because also I'd gone through all the photos and shown Lara and said, look, this is what I'm going to get you for dinner today. Look what Rob sent me. And then we got there and it was close. Very disappointed. Kev said, interesting stuff. Chris, the menu deal was more expensive than I ever paid in this region, but I guess ingredients were quite fancy, red prawns, etc. 18 to 20 euros would be expensive here, most 12 to 15. For 25 euros, you can go to the local cart down the port. I have to go to Murcia on Monday. My Peruvian lady needs to go there to drop some documents for his visa, and he has no car. I don't know exactly where yet. I'll find out. We get the car. I'll keep my eyes open for you. Yeah, definitely. Let me know. You must have been by now. So yeah, the menu was 50 euros for 2 people, and it was a 3-course menu with 2 drinks included, which if you're from Malaga, that's extremely cheap considering that it included a paella for 2, which fed 4 prawns and avocado. Oh, It was incredible. Adrian said, what hotel did you stay at? Adrian, we stayed at La Honor Golf Resort. It was very reasonable for 4 people. We got half board, and I was very, very pleased with it. It is old and tired. I have to say, it's not as nice as the ones down the bottom, which you would never be able to afford anyway, because they cost an absolute fortune. We stayed at the cheap one at the top, but the apartment was amazing, absolutely amazing. And I would definitely recommend the Honor Golf Resort in Marminor. Great video, Chris. Thanks for taking the time to make it. Cheers, Stu, for you. Jim, hey, how you doing? Jim spoke just the other day, didn't we? Brilliant video. It was very helpful as we're looking at Cohen and nearby areas. Definitely look like somewhere we want to look into in our search. That was my video from 3 years ago. Mijas, Alarin de la Torre, a drive through the hills. I want to do more videos in our town. I keep threatening to do it. I'm going to do it. Hi, Chris. We've got our... this is a good bit of information from Paul. Hi, Chris. We got our padrón at San Javier Ayuntamiento the other day. It was straightforward and quick. A word of warning to others, though. Everything was done in Spanish. If anyone struggles with Spanish, take an interpreter. That's across the board now for the padrón certificates, really. The offices are getting a lot stricter. I mean, you've got offices like Mijas who have a specific foreigners department, but certainly here in Alarin de la Torre, they wouldn't speak to you in English. So yeah, it was so I did a short about the fuel prices, and this was 5 days ago. It was 159 and 157 in Trapiche, which is Valles, as I passed through today. Very similar to each other. That's now gone up into the 160s, 170s. It's gone up 35 cents here, 30 cents in about since the global events has happened. Nikki Clark said on our day 1 trip, not quite sure on what rule it is, and I suspect it's changed, but I achieved TIE without padrón. So the original officer having none of it, but his superior passed it. I think it's changed. Also, did padrón after TIE at the time sensitive certificate? I didn't realize. Yeah, this is... I'm going to come back to that one in a minute. Paddy in Spain 5 days ago. Yeah, 154 this morning up to 173 in the Trottery in the afternoon. Wow, I got 20 cents in one day. Yogi's in Valencia. Hey, Chris, I'm in Valencia right now up to the 10th of March. Love to come and see you, mate, but couldn't get there. And another comment from 4 days ago on a short I did about the new houses and old houses. I don't like those new houses, Chris. Inside layout might be better, but not the outside. Yeah, there's a lot of them going up, aren't there now? And Kerry Dawson said, your daughter is adorable. I think you have an actress in the making. Yep, we certainly do. So anyway, going back to this comment about the padrón rule, not quite too sure of the rule. The problem is, guys, is there is no rule. Okay, so the rules are sort of made up at the police station at the time, and it's really difficult to explain because everybody... I'm going to do a video on this, and it's basically, do you need a padrón or don't I need a padrón? Some people say I don't need a padrón. Some people say I do need a padrón. Some people say it depends. Okay, but basically what happens is you've got to look at the process of going to the police station and what it involves, and that's going to give you your answer as to whether you need a padrón or not. All right, so the first thing we know is the person behind the desk, if they want to, they can update your address as you're going through the process without a padrón. A padrón doesn't put a block on the computer. Okay, computer doesn't say no if you haven't got a padrón. Okay, but that person has a boss and a superior and has to justify anything they do at their computer. So we're talking about, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, maybe new to the channel, we're talking about going to a place called the comisaría. Sometimes it's called an extranjería, but they're slightly different. But the foreigner's office to register, okay, to get residency in Spain. So if you've got a visa renewal, maybe approval for an EU family member, but you've got some document that says, yay, I can live in Spain, but you need to get your TIE card, you will go to this place. When you get there, you're going to have a few documents, application form, which varies depending on what you're trying to, what type of residency you've got. Tax payment, again, varies depending on what type of residency you've got. And proof of who you are, and maybe proof of where you live. Right. The proof of where you live comes in the form of a padron certificate. Right. Now, when the police opens up their computer, they're looking down, and you hand them over some documents, they'll look at the application form, then they'll look at the computer and they'll say, well, the address on the application form matches what I've got on my computer. So in that case, I definitely don't need a padron. There we go. Have your TIE card, fingerprints. This is where we get to the good bit. Okay, hand over your application forms. Police open up their computer. Tappy, tappy, tappy. Oh, the address on the computer is different to the address on your forms. Do you have a padron to prove that this is your address? I haven't, no. Okay then. So either A, no problem. In this province, we don't mind, my desk, because it's your first time registration. We know you don't have time to have a padron. We're going to change the address anyway. There we go. Different police station. Well, I can't do it because you haven't got a padron. Different police station. Oh, I see you've bought your deeds for your property. I saw you've brought an electric bill and you've got the proof that you've registered on the padron, but you haven't received the document. Yeah, that's good enough for me. Yeah. Do you catch my drift with that explanation? So there's no rule. It depends who you get behind. First thing is does your address match on the computer with the documents you're presented? Don't need a padron, right? Doesn't match up. Depends what police station you're going, who you get on the day, and what documents they're actually willing to accept. Yeah. So there you go. That's why this whole padron scenario is confusing. What do? Well, in the police stations where we work, we're constantly asking their criteria. So, for example, in Alicante, for a time, they'll say, don't matter, bring anything, don't care, forget the padron, don't need it, make a paper airplane, don't even bring it, throw them out the window. We'll change anything on first time TIA registrations. And suddenly last year, one person on the desk went, blah, 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 blah. Need a padron? We've always needed a padron. We're like, it's funny enough, we've done 56 appointments through here and we never needed one. We do now. Okay. 3 weeks later, why are you bringing a padron? It's first time registration. This is our battle, you know. It's actually not our battle. It's Jane's battle because Jane's at stage 2 and that's what she has to deal with. And it keeps keeping on top constant information from the individual police stations to see where you're registering and what you're going to need on that time. And then the other side of the battle is you've only got X amount of days really to register. And some town halls like Vélez Málaga, for example, take 4 months to issue a padron. So this is all about that timeline. So we've spoken before about that timeline of actually getting your visa. You've got this whole second timeline here in Spain, which that comment has led me into a huge explanation, which I've probably lost you all hope. Let me know if that was even comprehensible. But that is part of our job. That is what we do behind the scenes. What we've got over here? Tony. Gersinator. Yeah, big rainfall yesterday. Crushed ice formed on the glass top of my garden table, Tony. Yeah, my kids, funny enough, I've only ever seen hailstones once. And sadly, the first time was in the UK at my my stepfather's funeral. It's nearly a year ago now. What an amazing man. And we were coming back, so we didn't really notice it, and we were all sad, and we didn't really get out and celebrate hailstones, obviously. But this time we did. I was like, I dare you to go out in it. My son was like, oh, that hurts. And it was, they were big as well. So it was great. So same as you, Tony, but it followed us. What happened was we had it in Alarin de la Torre town, and it started, and then we left it. We drove out into the sun, and then it followed us home about half an hour later. Kev said that was last Monday, Chris, foreigner cop shop. Oh, okay, in the main one, yeah, Málaga, in Murcia, sorry. Brilliant. So that is the YouTube, but I have got one more thing from what did I do when I thingy Bob? One more thing from YouTube to show you guys, because we've got some good news, but it's also bad news from my mate SKATZ. So we've got Oh, what's going on now with this? Oh, hang on a minute. Stop. Ah, there we go. Stop sharing. Right, so as you know, every second Monday I am on the U2 Spain channel with SKATZ, and we talk about all things. This year we're talking about a lot more. Doing a lot more chatty shows that we're going to do next Monday, sort of a current affairs show, and just give our opinion on what's happening, what we expect to happen, not as experts but as commentators, because we thought that was fun. But we've had some good news. SKATZ is going to, if you don't know, SKATZ had cancer the year before last, and went through. To be honest with you, I went to most of the treatments with him, and never ever, seen anybody go for it in such a happy, jovial way. He really did, fight cancer, and he's got over cancer, and he's at the last stage now of his journey. Now, SKATZ is a performer, and he won't mind you telling you that after he had his operation for colon cancer, he had a stoma fitted, which, to be honest with you, I mean, I went to a couple of the appointments. Oh, it was disgusting. I was like, the stomas are great once you get used to it. The lady was trying to get me around to translate. I was like, oh, I can't do that. And he's been living with that, as some of you guys know, maybe gone through the same thing. But not only has he been living with it, he dances with it and performs with it, and he does shows with it, and he hasn't stopped working, and he's been absolutely working his boots off because he knows that at some point he's going to have to go into the operation in the true hospital style. Wasn't expecting it for a while, and boom, Monday he's having his stoma off. That's it. The problem is there's quite a recovery time afterwards in which SKATZ isn't going to be able to perform. Okay, so what I want you to do, I'm not going to put our coffee thing up today. Support SKATZ if you can, guys. Anything that you can put on the buy me a coffee for SKATZ. He does some great content. YouTube pays naffle, it really does, unless you're Mr. Beast. And the time he spends in doing videos and informative videos really doesn't warrant the amount of money that he gets off of YouTube. So just going to say, if you guys like SKATZ's content, then please support him using this U2 Spain Buy Me a Coffee platform, because he's not going to be able to work for at least 2 to 3 months. And unfortunately, the bills need paying, don't they? And SKATZ is a very energetic performer, keeps himself fit. He does like a tapper. He's a bit of a foodie like me, I have to say. Yeah, so there we go. Help SKATZ out, and we wish you all the best, SKATZ, for next Monday. He's a top man, that SKATZ. He is. He's a good guy and funny. Never hasn't got a bad or frustrated word to say about anybody. I can tell you that now. So there we go. That was our YouTube. We're still got 18 people on, guys. That's nice. Less than we normally get, but I'm too used to it now. 18 people for me. I'll be like, ooh. Okay, so where are we now? What are we doing now? See, some of these are just not showing. Well, here we go. Food and drink. Now we have got today on our food and drink section. I had a surprise the other night. Now this might not be your kettle of fish, but I don't care, because it was almost, for me, it was historic, and there's a story that goes to this. So I'm going to tell you the story. So let me put the photo up as well. I didn't actually get a photo of the pizzas, but anyway. So you see, that's a restaurant in Alarin Grande called Atracon. In fact, I'll put the link below in the video after this video is finished. Now, the story is a quick one. I'll try and keep this under 10 minutes. When I lived in a place called Loja, which is a town in Granada, for 4 years. It's where I first moved to in Andalusia, before moving down to the province of Málaga, before moving to Alarin de la Torre, where I've been since 2010. Absolutely love it. It's the best. Now, Atracon was a pizza place up there. It only had a very small backstreet pizza joint, And the guy who owned it, there was two brothers. One who owned a pizza joint on the roundabout, very nice, a little bit more market restaurant feel. And this guy who knew, can't remember the life of me, remember his name. He used to be the captain of the running club. But when I met him, he looked like me now, so you didn't think he was a runner. But anyway, and they used to do the most fantastic pizzas. They're amazing, absolutely amazing. Loaded pizzas, absolutely. Oh, couldn't pick them up. One pizza's a meal for free. And one night I was at the house, and this was about 2006, 2007. At that time, Lara had been in Spain for 2 years. The Spanish was good, but she wouldn't talk on the phone. And we'd been out having a few tapas of an evening. I wouldn't have been 30 then. I'd been in my late 20s. And we're at home in our new home. We just bought together, nearly newlyweds. It was before we were married. And Lara said to me, I want to order a pizza. And I was like, what are you going to order a pizza for? That's crazy. Been having tapas all night and had a few beers, this, that, and the other. Said, she went, phone me a pizza, will you? And I said, no, I'm not phoning. That's it. Knowing too well, she couldn't phone herself. So I was being selfish, fell asleep. That was it. I woke up about an hour later to find pizza boxes everywhere. And she'll kill me for telling this story. Because Lara, that's the first time she decided, I'm going to phone her myself. So in less than, I think, 24 months in living in Spain, she got on the phone, got into the pizza joint and said, ordered me a pizza, ordered it successfully, and it evidently arrived. So we always laugh at that story because since then, if you were to hear Lara now talking on the phone this week, sadly, one of our friends had an accident with a car, got run over. She's in hospital having some very major surgery. When it happened, Lara straight up there, boom, hospital translations on the phone. She kills it with the schools, better than me. But that was her first experience. And the other night, we had some of our kids' friends around. I was like, what should we get the kids to take? Let's get a takeout. Who cares? It's this kind of night, isn't it? And we were looking for a place thinking, I don't know. And it turns out that Atracon, this place from 20 years ago, opened a restaurant in Arenal Grande, but it's not our town. They normally deliver outside their town. So we phoned them up and said, do you come to Alarin de la Torre, this side? And they were like, yeah, you do. So we all jumped for joy and we got some pizzas and they're amazing. So if you're in Arenal Grande or Arenal Torre, I strongly suggest you try this pizza joint. Atracon, it's got a lot of history. The guy who owns it went from that little joint to opening a restaurant in Loja to opening one in a place called Guatataca, famously flooded a month ago. That's where the president visited. And they've opened up here as well. And it's fantastic food. So yeah, that's a long-winded way of saying try that pizza, but it's got a lot of history for our family. So there you go. That is the food. Patrick's in the house, checking in late, Chris. I'll catch up later. Cheers, Patrick. We're just talking about some comments of yours there. So, we're coming on to the competition now. You didn't know there was going to be a competition today, but we're coming on to it. Here we go. I think this is it. So we're switching up the fun Spanish word, and I'm turning it into a competition this week. Now we have, I'll take one of them away. We've got 3 packs of gifts from Lobster. Thank you very much, Steve from Lobster, our representative. We broker Lobster Sims here at Upsticks. If you want one, just let us know. We can send it out to you if you need it. And but you do need to have you don't need to have a Spanish number. Of course you don't. That's to get your Spanish number. You would need to have a address in Spain to send it, but apart from that, you can register and get them sent out. Okay. And we do it for our clients. I had a walk-in today. Somebody who did it. And basically, it's a very handy service to have. They load up our Sims for them. We give them out to people. They actually pay a small commission as well to companies who do Lobster. So that's nice. That all goes in the coffee pot as well. But I say, come on, lads, come on, get some hats and stuff for our guys. There we go. Don't fit my fat head, but here we go. You can do that. There we go. Be like a paper boy. There we go. So they're giving us these hats. I've got 3 prizes of hat. This is incredible. This is a very posh Lobster bottle. Look at that, it's glass. Great. In summer, these are great. You put your water in there, put it in the fridge. There's nothing better than cold water from a glass bottle in the fridge in summer in Spain. Always keep a cold bottle of water in glass. So much better than plastic. And a pen. There you go. Quality pens. None of that naff stuff like the Sabadell Bank paper ones that they give you. So these are the packs, and I'm going to give out 3 of these. And it's going to be given to 3 people. Now, first of all, let me explain. You have to live in Spain, though. I'm sorry. This can only be for people who live here in Spain, because I can't send these to the UK because they won't accept them through customs. We've switched it up. So I'm going to start a new series. We were doing words which have double meanings in Spanish. And now we're going to do words which are easy to learn in Spanish because they sound like English. Right? So my first word is asparagus. And it's actually more comical. Asparagus is asparagus in Spanish. That's got to be one of the easiest words to learn. So I reckon if you get words which are similar to each other in Spanish and English, you can really enhance your vocabulary very, very quickly. You're never gonna get that wrong in a restaurant. So today's word is asparagus, which in Spanish is asparagus. Now, for the first 3 people who email me at YouTube at Upsticks in Spain with a suggestion of a word which is almost the same in Spanish as it is in English and be useful for people to learn in their vocabulary, will get one of these. So you need to email me with the word in Spanish, which we will check, the word in English, and your address to send out your price. The first 3, okay, will be going out to you tomorrow if you send them over today. So there you go. There's a challenge for you. And then we'll be featuring those words over the next 3 weeks. Only if they're not naff. We're allowed to eliminate naff ones. I'm very sorry. You might be eliminated if you're naff, but the first 3 people to email me with a word who live in Spain with your address, the word which is similar to Spanish with both the Spanish version and the English version, and it has to be in the Spanish dictionary, will count. And the reason I say it has to be in the Spanish dictionary is because I'm not even going to tell you. Some of you might work it out. So there we go, guys. Get on to the competition. And now let's go on to our next section, which is... No, it's not. Hanging about. Oh. Right, so out and about. Got a few bits out and about actually to show you today, so that's cool. And we have, first of all, Donald, who's not on the live today, but sent this lovely photo of Al Muñeca ships. Great knack for the black and white, Donald, there. That's fantastic. That's Al Muñeca from the player San Cristobal, I think, if I recognize that, or where I know where. Pretty cheating because I know where Donald lives anyway. And yeah, thanks for that. Keep them coming, Donald. Do you have these done in prints? Because they're really nice. Imagine that up in your house. So here we go. This is... Oh, what did I do with your fuel prices there? Oh, here we go. Fuel prices from Robbo. Since Wednesday, diesel shot up from around 141 to 156. A rise of 35 cents in 2 weeks. You mean it's risen 35 cents in the last 2 weeks, but it shot up again 15 cents there. That's from Robbo, and that was a few days ago, actually, and he's actually sent me another update yesterday where it shot up again. So I'll get that out. I'm going to do a separate video of all these, but what are the fuel prices like where you are? Here, Robert sent me this one from the 8th as well, where it's now gone up to 169 and 159. So the fuel prices are hiking up, guys. How much is it where you are? I know it's gone up 30 odd cents so far, which means that eventually food's going to go up. And I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist because I think that when the food goes up, it doesn't go back down with the fuel. I don't think it goes back down. So once it goes up, it stays at the price that people are prepared to pay. Start the food price rebellion. No, don't start that, but you know what I mean. Okay, I wanted to show you this. Now, this is quite funny. So, back in the day when internet didn't exist, people used to get pirate Sky, Sky, and there used to be pirate Sky dishes installers. It was all piracy. You weren't allowed to have Sky in Spain, but if you had a big enough dish, you could get one. Okay, that's been replaced now by VPNs and all sorts of stuff, hasn't it? Um, and when I bought my house recently, it was owned previously by some English people and then some Spanish people who we bought it off. But this thing was still hanging up on the side of the house. I mean, this was a danger, I think, to have on the side of the house. But check this out. This is how you used to get Sky in the olden days in Spain before we had the internet. I must admit, I did have one in my old house up in Granada. I don't know what size that was, but I know I'm 183 meters tall, so it's going to be a 150 or 160 dish, isn't it? Like that. And to get it down, oh, that was a pain. Two of us to get it down, bolts the size of your arm. It was hilarious. But there you go. That's what, and that went off to be recycled. Guy collects metal, but yeah, I don't think I could have sold it. But that is an old school Sky dish from back in the noughties when people used to have pirate Sky in their house here in Spain. And Kez, how you doing, guys? You still on today? I thought I saw you earlier on. Did I see you on the live? They recently went to Peníscola, at the end of last year, and they've sent us some fantastic pictures. So if you don't know where Peníscola is, it is in the Castellón area. I'm going to see if I can bring it up, and it has a lot of history there. So it's spelt with an ñ, Peníscola, and if I can find my notes on it, I'll tell you. Oh no, that's not my notes. Where's the notes? Here we go. Here we go. So, as you can see, I'm a smooth operator when it comes to this system. This was from Ant and Kez. They said, we got the first wow on arrival at our hotel room, Porto Cristo, with fantastic panoramic view of the famous Spanish promontory, which was this here. Look at that. That was the view from their hotel. Pretty amazing, the castle up there. And which is reminded us of old centre of Saint Emilion in France, which is a rare film favorite for us, and we has become repeat visit destination. Peníscola winding cobble paths of unusual craft shots, eateries, and gift shops stretching up to the castle, made famous for people being portrayed as Valencia in the blockbuster El Cid. It's been in so many films, Peníscola. You'll have to. It's an amazing place to go. You can, and none of the shops are very expensive. They're really not. The views from the top are well worth the climb. We visited out of season mid-December, and the most of the shops were closed, but we imagined how lovely it would be when everything was reawakened. Having seen it in the flesh, our interest was piqued, and having previously visited the famous A. Ben Alda, I think that is, film set, town in the Moroccan desert, an array of ancient stone castles artistically added to the polystyrene and breeze block pillars, but impossible to spot. For the film of some of the Russell Crowe film Gladiator, we of course felt compelled to watch Charlton Heston and Sophia Loren's 3-hour epic El Cid. So lots of films have been. I haven't got the list here. Lots of films have been filmed here in Peníscola. As an absolute classic, rolled regularly as bank holiday viewing in the UK. That's what they said. It was cleverly angled for the cameras, or was Peníscola very much less developed in 1961? I reckon it was a bit of both, as you suggest. But El Cid was also recorded here. Apparently, here's the castle. When you get there, I've got a whole video on this on the YouTube channel, so check out my video about Peníscola. But it's definitely worth a visit. We thought it was absolutely amazing when we went, and we did go in summer, and the vibe is amazing. There you go. That's a view during the day of the castle. And That is one of the restaurants. Is as you walk down from the castle off to the left-hand side. If you come the back way off the castle, the right, this restaurant, I recognize it, is right in the middle of the two. Back again. Jen has sent me some photos from her birthday in Mojaca. Cheers, Jen. Thanks for that. Let's see this. So if you want to go and stay in Mojaca, I don't think you're on today, Jen. Where did you stay? This was the, let me tell you. Jen. This was in Mojaca. And I'm going to check my email because she did explain to me and I didn't copy it. Here we go. This was oh, I can't find it now. It was a golf resort in Mojaca. Yeah, I'm sure she told me where it was. Anyway, Jen, if you see this, comment below. But it looked very nice. Looked very, very nice. Check this out. Always looking for nice places. Mojaca is amazing, isn't it? Look at that. Love Mojaca. Only been there once. Plan to search along that coastline at some point in the future. Oh, food looks nice. I reckon that might repeat on me that a little bit. There you go. And you can just see there the clouds at the back there just hugging the mountains. I love it when they do that. They do that here as well in the Mijas area and over in Alarin with the Sierra we have behind us. You see that sort of skyline very, very often. But Jen, tell us where it was in the comments. Look out for Jen's comments. I know she watches this, so look out for her comments at the bottom. I strike again. Haha, hasta la pasta. Okay. And Kez. Oh, and Kez said, same English, Spanish tonight, having a spaghetti bolognese. Bon appetit, yo. Obligaciones de vino tinto. Yeah, definitely. I won't be having any vino tinto till the weekend. Trying to not drink midweek when you get home from work. It's a bad habit, isn't it? Eh? And Jen also sent this. That's a picture of her 60th birthday. And I'm still trying to find where she said it was. Anyway, happy birthday, Jen. I'm glad you had a good time. Thanks for sending them over. Please send them some more. Send us some more photos. We love seeing your photos from out and about. We really do. It's people, you imagine, I mean, I'm not really giving a very good explanation for people who live here now getting used to this kind of life. That is February in Spain. That's what it's like normally. And we get the odd hailstone, we get the odd storm, but that is how we normally live in winter. So yeah, when you're moving over, that just fills you full of joy to see that if you're still in England waiting to come over. And last but not least, I wanted to show you this, guys, before we sign off for the day. Check this out. I completed my first cactus garden. I've got close to 100 pots that I've just collected over the years, and I'm proud to say that 95% of my pots are all cut-ins or bin saves or things that I've managed to just grow from anything I've found out and about. And because I do like it, I've always loved cactuses. I don't know why I've got this weird cactus obsession. It's very strange. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it comes from, because it definitely didn't come from living in Peterborough when I was growing up. But completed my first garden, which is going to be one of many. Okay, here we go. I hope you like it. This is my first cactus garden. I'm proud to say that all of those are either bin finds or cactuses which have been saved or cuttings which might have fallen into my pocket while walking along, you know, and that's turned into, that's one of many of cactus gardens that I'm going to be doing. And so I can give you a bit of a better, there you go, a little bit of a better view on that. You can see we've got aloe veras there, 2 types of aloe veras. You got that really funny, the big one on the left hand side in that pot, which is furry. I have no clue where I got that one from. The ones right at the bottom in the center, I found them in a petrol station, so I nicked a little cutting. The one right in the middle, that's a jade that my granddad actually gave me a cutting that he bought the original plant back from the United States, believe it or not. Planted it, it got that big before he passed about 15 years ago. He gave me a cutting, I brought it to Spain, and that's how it stands now. Nice, big and strong. So that plant's got a lot of history for me and my family. And everything else there is, yeah, if you see the aloe vera on the top right, that needs repotting very, very soon. So there you go. That was my first cactus garden, one of many. Right, guys, so I think that's it. We've hit the hour, and we will oh, hang a minute, what have we got here? Hola, Chris. We pick up our turkeys Monday. Thank you, Chris, Jane, and Victoria. Cheers, guys. Ali, I don't know who that is. I don't know your YouTube handle. Tell me who you are. If you're Victoria, then you'll be Mercia or Alicante. One of the two. Mercia, I reckon. And sorry, I haven't got that YouTube handle. Guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out the videos on the channel, like, subscribe. Remember what I said about my mate SKATZ there. He's going to need help. His last part of his cancer journey is happening. So go back through the video. Is linked below for the buy me a coffee is in there. And we will be back this time next week with our update 110. Hey, Ellie and Bruce. Okay, I got you. Hey, nice. Yeah, got you. Cheers, guys. Sorry, I didn't have that handle. I'm going to save that now to your client file. Cheers, Chris. Have a good week, everybody. Yeah, have a good week, guys. Thanks for watching. Loving the community spirit on here. Next week, Upsticks weekly update number 110. At the weekend, we're releasing a video which is getting a Padron certificate in San Pedro de Pinatar, okay, which I recorded back when I visited Murcia on a flash trip, and check that out if you're getting registered there. Ciao for now, guys. I will see you next week.